Hello everyone, welcome back to the second session of the introduction to algorithm. That is the introduction topic, analysis of algorithm. So in this topic, we are having the content that is introduction to the algorithm and the basic data and the functionality required for the algorithm. As we have discussed, we have divided this particular topic into two different lectures. In the first lecture, we have discussed what is an algorithm. Now in the second part, we are going to see the set theory and the functions associated with it. So now the set theory. What is set? For imagination, we may say it is very easy to get understand. Now you can see here the flux of bird. Okay, so that's it. Now why it is set? Because they are having some kind of the similar objects and belong to the same group. That means the same anything which is get categorized in a group by some sort of property. Okay? You may say the set of trees, obviously, the set of points, a set of numbers, like that. It must be associated by some of the mathematical or some of the characterized property. So mathematics for the algorithm set, we will see. Now in the bookish definition, we can see a set is an unordered collection of distinct objects. So they are with distinct objects. Unordered means there is no specific first and the ranking among them. They are in the random collection of it. Okay, so set of unordered collection of distinct objects. The objects set are called elements of a member of the set. Right? Now the examples are here we can see the A is a set comprising the four numbers 11, 12, 21, 22. So no definition is there is given, but still we can say this particular four numbers are comprising a set. That is itself a definition. So this also can be a column. Now the B, here we can say X is any kind of the number which is an odd integer greater than 1. Okay, odd integer greater than 1. So it will be 3, 6, 9 and so on. So it is given by the definition. Now obviously in nature it is infinite. Okay, infinite numbers can be greater than and odd. Third one is the same. X is a two-digit integer. Each digit is 1 or 0. Okay, so I think here you can imagine that the particular C is equivalent to the A. Whatever we are talking, it is a two-digit number. Okay, so two-digit numbers are from 1 to 9. From 10 to 99. Okay, now each of the digit must be 1 or 0. So in 1 and 2. So in this, there are only four possible combinations: 1 1, 1 2, 2 1, and 2 2. So this is the equivalent set as we have discussed in the A. Next is E. So here we are calling X is belong to B. That means X is an odd integer and greater than 1. Okay, and less than equal to 11. Okay, so this will comprise the numbers like 3, 6, 9 and 11 obviously because it is less than equal to. We had said less than, then 11 might not be there. Okay, so this kind of the notation we call the value notation. These three are called the property notation. So it is very simple to understand. In a value notation, we are denoting set by value itself. We are just showing all the possibles with it. Whereas with the property notation, we are giving definition or some kind of the mathematical formula by which we can imagine the particular set. It is must be noted down here. Infinite set can obviously never shown by the value notations. Okay, we have to follow the property notation. Like the set E, X is an odd integer greater than 1, so it is infinite in nature. Whereas E is not in infinite in nature, but it is shown by the property notation. Now, finite set says finite means we can count it. Okay, otherwise it is infinite in nature. So example, the first one is the finite set. So X is belong to the real number, and it should follow that particular equation. Obviously, only two numbers are addition, that is -9 and 9. Okay, so this is a finite set. Whereas n is second example, x is a number divisible by 2, means all set of even numbers. Okay, So this is infinite in nature. Now cardinality of the set. The cardinality of a set denotes the number of elements in a set. The cardinality of set is denoted by n of s or mod of s. So simply we may say how many numbers are there. So in finite set you will have a number, whereas in infinite set we cannot have the number. If a set English cardinality is 36. The cardinality of infinite set, I already said it is infinite. The cardinality of the empty set, now it is a notation for, you may note down it. It is a notation for empty set. Empty means, remember that there is no zero even in the set. Zero is element. Okay, it is one of the number representing some property. Okay, so it is equal to zero. So cardinality means how many numbers are there? There are the zero numbers, no number, zero number, not even zero is there. So zero number. If there is a set of the zero, we say the cardinality is one. One element known as zero. Now the subsets. Now it is very easy to understand. In fact, in plus of the definitions, you take a set and you collect, you find out, you take out some elements from it. Okay, so it is called subset. The very simple way. Sub part of a bigger set, that is a subset. Okay. Now a set itself a subset of it. Means if I am taking all elements of a set, so it is itself a set. So there is a equal to sign here, some kind of equal. Okay. So C may be equal to A even. Okay. So this is the way how we can define the subset. Proper subset. If it is equal, if C in this case is not then and A not equal, then they are the proper set. It is definitely a subpart. Then it is called the proper subset. Now examples. Now we can say there is a set 1, 3, 5, and we are taking other element 1 and 5, so it is a subset and proper subset. If I am saying C is equal to 1, 3, 5, then this is the subset but not a proper subset. Power set. It is the number of subsets can be done from it. Okay. The power set written as the set of all subsets. This you take a possible numbers of the subsets from the set. So whatever will be the maximum possibility you can have is a subset. Examples are the set with the two elements. So there can be the subset with 0, with 1. So very easily you can imagine. Another is the complete set. It's 0 and 1 is a set. And obviously I may create a set without any value. I already said you that there is a set, empty set, which do not have any value, not even 0. So this is again one of the set. So combine set of subset. Now complement. We can easily get it by the diagram. Okay. If I say A is a set, okay, in a union discuss, A is a set, and we are talking about the elements which is complete by the U. Okay, so A complement of A is except, okay. Here we can say you are setting 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and you are taking A is 1, 5. So except 1 and 5, everything. So 3, 7, 9. Okay. In other example, let's say consider the set of U as a set of integers. And if A is a odd set of odd integers, then what will complement? It will set of even integers. Now the operations on the set. The very first operation is the union. In my simple language, I say it's the collection of elements from the both set. Maybe it may be in both. Okay. Remember, if you are adding elements from both the set, it do not get twice. It is a single element. Okay. If I say your name is counting, there is no meaning of it. Your attendance will be only. Okay. You may attend first class and second class also. Some students have attended the first class, some have attended the second class. The question is that how many students have attended the class today? Okay, or classes today. So we'll comprise, do the summation of the set 1 and set 2 attendance of the class A and class B, but we will not repeat the name of the students who have attended the class. Okay. So this is how we go with the can take 519 and 12345. You note down there the common elements are written at 1. Okay. Now another is the intersection. Now this is exact in the student who has attended both the class, he is given under the intersection. So set of elements with available with the A and B also. Okay, so these are the common elements. Very simple to understand. This is the intersection. Okay. Now next is the difference. As you have highlight here, that is more easy to understand. A but not in B. Okay, the elements that which are available with the A but not in B. So we will remove the common element from A and B. The very simple as that. Okay. So A minus B, the elements with occur to the A but not the B. So this is more common that 3 and 5. So we have removed common element 1 5 from set A. Symmetric difference. It is like the elements A but not in B and element B but not in A. I may say in the previous operation we have seen A minus B. So I will say you do A minus B, then you will get A but not in B. Then you do B minus A, then you will get B but not in A and do the union of it. Okay, it is easy to get handle that with value as I talk. A sequence of objects is a list of objects in some order. When we say the sequence, here we are going to order them in some of the fashion, some of the rule. Example: 721 and 57 will be 721 and 57 depends on their increasing order of value. Now the say what is only the sign of sequence. Okay. The said order does not matter, but in sequence. Okay. As I have written 721 and 57 must have the specific increasing order. I cannot write 7, 57, 21 because the rule will break. Then I will depend on another rule if I really want to do like that. So repetition is permitted in the state, but it is permitted in the sequence. As I have just used some attendance, so it is attended in the all attended. Okay, but if sequence equally, okay, because it matters the order in which order they are coming. Okay, so what matter here? Okay, now tuples. Now finite sequence are called tuples. Okay, so it is a 2 to 3 tuple. I will say in my simple language the cross combination of all. Suppose that in one team there are 3 players, in another team there are 2 players. They are going to fight to each other. The how many matches in between of them? How many matches? 6 matches. They are the 6 combination, and that is the Cartesian product. Cartesian set A, 3 and B with 2 product. Okay, if you understand the example of the match, so it is easily to notify it. So A cross, okay, where element from A and the element from B. So their cross combination. These are all possible cross combinations. Okay, like a matches. The one team is having 1, 2, 3 players. B is having 2 players. And I have to connect to each other. Now, in a cross combination partition product, we are taking all the possibilities. We are taking all the possibilities of the cross combination. Where relation, we are checking out the sum of the mapping, sum of the possibilities. So that kind of the thing we call the relation. So in the obviously it's a relation. Element to related to another element. In Cartesian product, every element from the first set is related to the every element from the second set. Whereas their subset is also one of the relation. Okay. Now the definition: the set of all x values is called the domain. First set, all values is called the domain. The set of all values from the y is called range. Means the range is defined that what are the possible outputs. What is next? And the x talk about problem in properties of the relation. The first one, that is a reflexive. Now A be a set and let R be a binary relation on R. The relation R is reflexive if X is related to X. Okay. Now it is itself related to itself. If it is happening, okay, then we will call it as a reflexive relation. You can see the one R is a relation where A is less than B. Now we can say, sorry, not a less than exactly, it is a less than equal to B. So is less than or less than equal to 1, 2 is less than equal to 2. So every element from the set A is related to set B. Every element of the so satisfies the property of reflexive. Okay, we can also here also. Okay. Now relation R is reflexive since 3 by 3 is not there. Okay. So 3 comma 3, that particular element has not taken there. That if X is related to Y, Y must relate to A. Very rough, I can say, if Ajay is the brother of Vijay, Vijay is the brother of Ajay. So it's a symmetric relation. Okay, like that. X Y belong to relation, then Y X also belong to relation. There is that. Okay, this is the same thing, not equal. There is possible. There is one is not there, two is not there, three is not there. Otherwise, are all possible cross combinations of say A cross A. So this reflects symmetric relation. Okay, if one is related, then B is related to A. Now asymmetric, if it is not satisfied, then it will be the asymmetric relation. And the simple will say if A is related to if A to B, B is related to B, then A is related to C. It is that way. When brotherhood if Ajay is brother of Vijay and Vijay is brother of Sanjay, so Ajay will be the brother of Sanjay. Okay, in that case we will say it's a translation less than. If B and C, then A is less. So that kind of property we will say positive relation. Okay, so 1 is to 2, 2 is related to 3, so 1 is also related to 3. Okay. The property less than equal to transitive. Equivalence relation. Now equation declares also some kind of equality of equals. If it satisfies property transitive, it is relation. It is given by the equality relation, equivalence relation, because equality proves the required condition: reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Now, whatever these relations we have already checked out, if all these three properties satisfied by the set, then this it will set to be, the set and the relation it will call the equivalence relation. Now the functions. Now functions is a special example of relation. Now how it is that we will check. The relationship between the two sets of number is known as a function. Set of numbers. It is very important here to say it is a set of numbers. Functions is a special kind of relation. A number in one set is mapped to the number in another set by a function. Example: tree grows 20 centimeter every year. So the height of the tree is related to its age using the function h. Is that clear? So h of h is equal to h multiplied by 20. So this is the function we define, and obviously this is again one kind of the relation. Okay, the age is a one of the set, okay, which is having the time, whereas the height is again one of the set which is having the distances. So time is related to the distance here. So if the age is 10, then height will be 200 centimeter. Here the age is called the domain and height is called the codomain. Okay. Now the function notations. Domain. The value gives an input to the function is called the domain of the function. Codomain. Values that may possibly come out of function is the codomain. Range. The actual values that come out of function is the range. Means when you are defined the function and you are checking out all possible output, the entire collection of output, that set covering entire possible outputs of the function is called the range. So it is simplified to say here A is a domain, B is the codomain because function is or relation is mapped from A to B. Okay. Now we will see how the function map. If it is a 1, then it will be 3, 2, then 5, 3, then 7. In the right hand side, we are covering the range. Now 4, it will goes to 9. So here 3, 5, 7, 9 is the range. Okay. Now relation and function. So this is a division. We are taking the codomain and the domain. This is mapping how to be. We are taking one example, another example, third example. Okay. This is the relation. Relation is not a function since element of the domain point to the multiple elements of the codomain. So particularly I must say when you are mapping the function, so it must map to the single value in the range, not the multiple value in the very short way. If I say f of cx, it must have the one value. But whereas here f of cx is equals to Anna, Sam and Tom. Okay, so because of it can be said a relation, but it is not a function. So function is a special kind of the relation, okay, where each element from the domain map to the single element of the codomain. Now here we can say this can be said the function, okay, because each value is mapping to the single value, okay, whereas ram and mid we can observe that they are mapping to the same value, but that is okay, that's fine with the codomain. Domain may be more than one, but codomain must be one. Now if the range of the function and the codomain of the function is equal, then function is said to be onto or surjective or surjection. In many cases we have noted this number range is the sum of the subset. If the range is occupied entire elements of the codomain, that means when the function is mapping to the entire target set, the codomain, in that case we will call it onto function. Okay, now these two example. Now this A will map to the all the elements from the B. Okay, you can see here all the elements it will map. So now this function is onto function because range is equal to B, it is cover up entire set. Okay, so this is codomain. Okay, a function is said to be injective or one-to-one if there does not exist two distinct x1 and x2 such that, okay, f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Now in previous case we have talked many times in the range, it function must map to the single element, otherwise it will not call a function, it must map to the single element. And we have also said in codomain it may be possible there are more than one element, means more than one elements from the domain may map to the single element, obviously the required element from the codomain. But if you added the case that each domain value must be distinct, means the reverse function is also possible. Okay, each single value from the domain is mapping to the single value from the codomain, and reverse is also possible. In that case, one-to-one relation. So this is one to one. Okay, each element is mapping to single element. Okay, whereas in previous case it was not like that. It was not a one to one function. Now function which is both one to one and on to, that is called the bijection function. It's very simple. It is a one to one and on to. Obviously the range is equal to entire B, so it is a on to. Okay, and each element from the set A is mapping to the single element from the B, and reverse is also possible. There are not two elements in set A which is mapping to the same value, so it is a on to function also, one to one function also. So it is a bijection function. Okay, thank you very much. So this was all about the set theory. Okay, in this way we have covered up the introduction about analysis of algorithm. We have checked out the prerequisites required for the analysis of algorithm. We'll continue with this way. See you again.